Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a best of 3 between Firefly and Gumiho. Firefly currently the #1 active Chinese player after Oliveira's retirement. I guess skill-wise Oliveira is still better, but as he's not actively playing anymore, Firefly is going to be the #1 Chinese player. He's one of these players that I think is always capable of taking maps against anyone, but hardly ever really win series, is what I feel like, against like the higher level players. He'll take maps, he'll take series against people his own level, but he's not the type of guy that really, we won't see him 2-0 Gumiho here most likely. I think he's too standard for that. He's just too standard. That's the problem with the standard Sandys, Their reach when it comes to taking out players above them just isn't so high because they're playing too solid. They want to be ready for everything, but if you're worse, sometimes it's completely okay to admit that you're worse than someone and, try to play some tricks, try to pull some moves. Gumiho, meanwhile, is opening up with a double Hellion opener. I think this was off of a gas first, and it's probably going to follow it up with mines here. Oh, what? 4 Hellion. Oh, I hadn't expected that. Like, whatsoever. Okay, this Adept is gonna die. That's a guarantee. He's probably going to want to heal these Hellions a little bit, no? Like, repair them quite a bit. This is mighty interesting, let me tell you. So he's going to go for a 4 Hellion opener and a double mine drop in the main base at the same time. I've seen this particular build many times with 2 Hellion into 4 mines. So you wait for the 4 mines and then you go with the 4 mines. But not quite like this. So this is a switch up from what we usually see. We have a temporary wall here in the natural. I think Firefly is preparing for something to come in. Oh, he's gonna cancel this. Now, this looks like a wall, but let's not forget about the bounce possibility here. The bounce ability of the Stalker is quite high. Reaper doesn't even need to throw the grenade right now, so the 4 Hellions do run in. There's going to be 2 workers here. It's going to be 3. Is that just going to be it? Are we going to get more kills here for Gumiho? Okay, we're going to get maybe 1 or 2 more worker kills. Okay, 2 more, 3 more, 6 worker kills. This is probably okay defensively for Firefly, but this might be an issue. Oh, quick response. Matter of fact, does stay alive. Who's going to burrow? Unburrow. Does get it. Very well done. Very well played. Oh my god, really nice retarget here coming out of Gumiho. Really nice retarget coming out of Gumiho. Lots of mining time has been denied. It's a 3-gate blink behind all of this. So Firefly ideally wants to be moving across the map already. Also wanted to have a little bit more money because he hasn't really been mining all that much. Prism's gonna come out, and in all honesty, I am not seeing a way here for Firefly to deal a whole lot of damage. I think Firefly is actually in a world of trouble. Gumiho behind this is getting tanks. There's a Raven. Does he already have a tank? I assume so, yeah. 1 tank is out. 2nd tank is on the way. Barracks has landed on this tech lab, and I'm assuming that there's going to be stim research here. Hellion now starts. Wait, Hellion? It has to be a misclick. Building a Hellion at this point makes absolutely 0 sense. It's just... yeah, okay, there we go. It's gonna cancel that. Just delaying his 3rd tank. I'm not even sure if you really want a 3rd tank, by the way, in this type of situation. Mine drop is still alive as well. We have 3 Stalkers nearby. Could try and do something maybe on the other side. That's exactly what Gumiho is gonna be doing, as he's rotating around. Observer is probably gonna spot it, though. Tank is far back enough that he's not really in danger, and also that the SCVs aren't really in danger. I think this early game has gone phenomenal here for Gumiho. The best start humanly possible. Stalkers are going to rotate to make sure that this medevac can't really do much. Might be capable of at least denying a little bit of mining here. Might even get a kill or 2. Might actually get 2 kills. No, just gonna stay with 1 kill. Mine does get the survive though. How many kills do we have total here? 9 worker kills, that's a lot. Yes, Terran also lost a lot, but 9 workers and a lot of mining time lost. Not a huge fan of this for a Firefly. He's gonna follow it up with Colossus, charge. Meanwhile, we have a 3rd base halfway done for Gumiho. That's a very fast 3rd base, before medevac even. So, based on the 3rd base timing, you can often see where the Terran wants to have their absolute peak. So if they want their absolute peak to be with their first push, you see the third CC go down after the medevacs have finished. Sometimes even after medevac 3 and 4 have started. That's not the case here. So instead, Gumiho probably wants a slightly later peak. His first double medevac attack is not going to be capable of doing a whole lot. Double auto turret's actually getting quite a few kills. 6 more kills here. At the same time, I think the medevac did go down in the main base. Mine shot might have done something as well. Yeah, I might have killed 1 probe because this Raven only has 6 kills and 7 kills were had. He had 7 kills total. So that brings us up to 16, right? Yeah, that's a lot of worker kills. Firefly should be in quite a bad spot right now. It's just too many workers to lose in a regular game, in my opinion. Okay, we're gonna have a pushback on these stalkers. Is the Raven going to provide vision on that observer? He barely won't. So observer is gonna remain hidden. I love going for a bit of Raven harass and then later on going back with that Raven to see if we can clear any observers. I think that is generally a very good move. Prism here in the main is also dealing quite a bit of damage. 9 worker kills for 4 zealots. I think that's a trade that Firefly is very happy to take. 48 workers only for Gumiho, who is going to actually commit to this push, but I don't think this is going to be that successful. It is 117 supply to 116 right now. Armory is already on the way. Like, it feels like Gumiho is preparing for a very powerful mid game, but can't help himself. And just kind of walked across the map with his entire army. Perhaps thinking that he could get something done. He's going to get a cancel here on the 4th base. That is quite a big deal. He's going to manage to clear one of these zealots as well. Does have concussive shell. 1-1. Why is his armory finished, by the way? Oh, he has double eBay already. Wow. That is really freaking fast. Firefly considering blasting this spot. It's not quite going to work out. 3rd Colossus now arrives as well. I'm just not seeing it here, to be honest. I don't quite understand how Gumiho's gonna plan on pushing in. I'm not sure if this is the play, although tanks are actually fairly unprotected here. 3 tanks and 2 mines go down practically instantly. 4th base is being rebuilt. Prism's still on the top right. Now we have 2 Vikings on the way, but I do believe that Gumiho has forgotten about all of this. Anti-armor missile is going to hit. What's that going to do here with Firefly? Does he believe that he needs to pull back, or is he just going to continue pushing? Anti-armor missiles, of course, just a negative Guardian shield. -2 armor here. You gotta be really freaking careful, because it's kind of a big deal. Zealot run-by comes in, or Zealot warping comes in. 8 more workers are going down. More and more workers are actually falling here. Firefly is gonna continue pushing in. I think you don't want to actually push in too hard here, because your Zealots in the main base are dealing so much damage. This is a mistake here out of Firefly. I love the drop, but going in all the way, blinking in forward, I think was a huge blunder. Because if you don't do that, and you just kind of poke from a distance, your Zealots already have dealt majority of the damage. If you can get this eBay, that would be huge. That would be so big. Not getting that +2 would be a big deal. There we go, deny on the +2. That is very helpful, because Gumiho was going to be very far ahead in those upgrades. Firefly now wants to meet his opponent's army in the middle of the map. Do we have a Colossus out already, or do we actually... Yeah, we have 0. Oh, this is a terrible spot that he finds himself in. Firefly has the tiniest of armies, absolutely the tiniest of armies, and he's going to need to keep his opponent at home for as long as humanly possible. As long as Gumiho doesn't move across the map, Firefly has a chance in this game. And actually, every second that goes by is a great second in that case for Firefly. So he's going to double fly in here, 1 into the natural, some into the 3rd, and then Stalkers in the front. It's completely fine to lose, in my mind, to lose a bunch of gateway units. I don't think he cares so much about that. The only thing that Firefly really cares about is winning time. And he's definitely doing that right now. Prism is going to end up falling. So we have more Zealots being warped in. I would love if these are instantly sent out for a run-by as well. So the moment we get another Gumiho move out, you're going to send them in again. However, Gumiho seems to have different plans anyway. He's adding in a fusion core, which is kind of crazy in my mind. What's he going to play? 3-base Liberator? Or is this for Caduceus Reactor? I mean, his medevacs are very low on energy. So maybe it's actually for the medevac energy upgrade. That would be possible. But it is, yeah, okay, it's gonna be it. Caduceus Reactor increases the energy regeneration of medevacs by 100%. I think Firefly has had enough time to kind of rebuild his important units. Colossus, he has some disruptors in the mix as well. +2 is about to finish up as well. It's taking a 5th base right now too. So the longer this game is going to last, the better it's going to be for Firefly. And it seems like Gumiho is completely okay with that. I am not okay with that for Gumiho. I think this is a really bad call. I think there were some seriously difficult moments for Firefly, which Gumiho could have capitalized on, yet he didn't. Now we're in this awkward position where the fourth base is 12 minutes in. Fourth base is going to start as the fifth finishes here for Firefly. 143 supply to 170, lots of cash still in the bank as well. I think the gateway count, yeah, is already very decent here at 10. Plus 3 attack should start soon. Just gonna need maybe one more gas as the Zealot Rumbys are continuing to absolutely obliterate the economy of his opponent. I mean, another 7-8 worker kills here. It just keeps adding up, and the overall workers killed 47 in this game. We're gonna have a minor push in. This is what he had to do last time as well. Kind of stand around, like play around chokes. Never really moving through a choke. While continuously going for Zealot Rumbys. I think if he had done that earlier, this game probably would be over in his favor already. Spot is still very good, but I think it could have been better. The 6th base now is going to get taken here as well for Firefly. You have a 10 Zealot Rumby on the right. You have like a 5 Zealot Rumby on the left. As he's looking for an angle to try and engage in. He's gonna find it. I think there's one more mine up there, yeah. 4 lips now coming out. I think Gumiho's plan is actually to just kind of get a massive army. Like legitimately a massive army. Hello? Zealots here are dying. On 3 bases. Take a planetary and then you push out with like 6 to 8 Liberators. Or 8 to 12. I don't know how many he can get. He already has 3. He's gonna get 4 more. Wow. He's gonna get a lot of these Liberators. Zealot Rumby doing nothing, but this is completely irrelevant right now. The only thing that's going to matter is positioning. If Firefly is in the right position and he stops this move out from happening, he's going to be in a great spot. Ideally, you bring the fight to your opponent a little bit like he's doing right now. I think this is a very good call. Dark Shrine is also on the way. Rich Vespine Geyser can be taken here and could soon be taken here as well. Here's some things we're going to need to pay attention to for sure. We're going to continue throwing a couple of disruptor shots here forward. Ghost and a Marauder go down against the first one. Raven now ends up dying as well. Split up is not terrible, not great either. Sentry gets sniped there. 4 more medevacs on the way. He's going to bring the total up to 10. And Gumiho is nearing max right now. So this is the moment we've all been waiting for. This is the moment where Gumiho needs to start making some decisions. And I think the right decision is probably to try and push out. Ideally with some type of distraction first. So whether it's going to be a double drop or some minor Liberator harass, I think you do have to force the Protoss army back home, because otherwise you're just not making it across the map. I'm just not seeing it. Extra Liberators being set up in this position is going to bring the total over here up to 7. We still have some other random ones in different places. I don't quite know where they are, but I know there's 10 total. And I ain't seeing them right now. Okay, we just have a couple over here randomly hanging out. 1 Liberator harass going towards the left side. Very understandable. Gumiho is building quite a bank as well. Would love to see +2 ship weapons started. That's the only upgrade that really is mattering for Gumiho at this moment. He's starting to harass over here. And perhaps this can give him a little bit of time to set up something else as well. Like a single Liberator should not be good enough for him. But it could be the trigger to something bigger. Stargate starts. Dark Shrine blink. Shadow Stride also starts here. There's a snipe on the pylon. Blinkstalker's going forward. Disruptor count is fairly decent. Yeah, it's so hard for Gumiho to move across the map because so much of his supplies in units that need to siege up every single time. Like tanks and lips are really hard to move across a map with. That's a huge Purification Nova there. Going to hit that center of that Terran army. That cost Gumiho a lot of supply. Now he's going to try moving. He says, hey, I think you're rotating. Let's see if we can push through the middle. And if Firefly can't actually go for a base trade here or run around, he could be in a little bit of trouble. I think going for a base trade is absolutely the correct call, because otherwise you're just going to keep on getting pushed back by the Liberators again and again and again. Gumiho now is actually going to go for the base trade. He says, hey, I will hold this position, or try to hold this position with my Liberators, while at the same time my main army is going to kill a bunch of your bases. That is the plan. Now, it is going to be on Firefly to make the right call. He's going to teleport back home. There was a bunch of Stalkers over here that could maybe blink after those Liberators. Not quite happening. 160 supply to 188. Liberators are so strong. And the army of the Protoss right now is going to be split. Neither side of the army can actually move through the Liberator zones. That means that this base is going to fall. That's going to be the second base that will go down. The fourth base for Gumiho has already been rebuilt. Liberators now being flanked by Stalkers, but not quite working out for the Stalkers. Not world's greatest flank. 16 gateways still active. That means that every single warp is going to have absolute crap ton of units. Liberators are being taken out. I think 1 or 2 just went down there. Colossus now moving forward. Once again, Liberator zones have been set up. This is freaking scary, because there's no pressure anymore here on Gumiho. Gumiho is already building a fifth base as well. The money is quickly running out here for Firefly. And the moment Liberators are set up near your base, there's really not a whole lot you can do. You probably just need to give up that base. I think committing to a full-on base trade, at least with your Stalker Colossus army, would have been correct. You can always send your Disruptors back home, see if you can shave off some individual Marine Marauder. But yeah, this is just going to be extremely difficult right now. Like, breaking Liberator zones is practically impossible, even without +2 ship weapons, by the way. Don't forget that. So what does +2 ship weapons actually do is that it allows you to 2-shot Stalkers. Or if you have EMP them, it allows you to 1-shot Stalkers, which is freaking insane, of course. Yeah, fighting in this position is going to be impossible for Firefly. I think Firefly actually threw this game out of the window here. Like, legitimately god awful. Zealots are going to go in for a run-by, and as there's no planetary, that is something. Stalkers blinking in. Will they be capable of doing it? Marauders actually moving fairly far back. Gumiho supply 162 against a 130 of his opponent. We're going to have another blink in forward. This is a good maneuver. This is actually a really nice maneuver. Gumiho desperately trying to reposition those Liberators. Disruptors are going down. A Purification Nova is actually going to hit. Do we get a snipe on the right medevacs? No, we don't. He hit an empty medevac. That really sucked. There's so many bases here for Firefly, but we just don't have enough workers right now. There's 37 to 24. Colossus almost ended up dying there. Zealot run by trying to be active. Liberator count is still phenomenal. 16 Liberators right now. I mean, how are you going to fight that? It's not possible. It's just not possible. Sending over 1 or 2 to deal with this base, by the way, would definitely be the correct call. I really think it is in Firefly's interest to keep his opponent at home. Like, Gumiho should not be allowed to ever move out with these Liberators. Ever in a million years, right? I think, ooh, yeah, nice. That's okay. Do not want to be moving through those double Liberator zones. Absolutely not. I think you want to be aggressive here if you're Firefly. It feels weird because your supply is so much lower, but a lot of that supply is in Liberators, which are not great in a straight-up battle. Once again, once you're in a defensive spot with Liberators, you're usually not in a great spot. So I think it's absolutely key here for Firefly to kind of go in. If he manages to snipe these orbitals, by the way, and then maybe with DTs you can do something. Like, he still has a Dark Shrine. He might have forgotten about it, but I haven't. Disruptor shots coming out. Ooh, it's kind of an awkward blink, ain't it? That's a very awkward blink. That is a very, very awkward blink. I really think that a couple of DTs could help. There are a lot of scans available. Even if you snipe one base, there's still two scans per base. So 4 scans total. Might be hard. We also have a ghost for an EMP. Final base is now being taken out. I do believe that Gumiho, I mean, magically is going to win this game. But this was really a major, major trove here coming out of Firefly. GG gets called as the Terran wins game number 1. There's one thing we can be sure about, and that is that Firefly is going to be losing some sleep over the outcome of that last game. He really played that out improperly. It's crazy to me because his first, base race move, his base trade move was correct. The moment the Liberators pushed out, right? He could have maybe moved towards the right side as well, had he been a little bit quicker with it. But moving towards the left to clear that planetary, I think is a completely fair play. I don't even think the recall is necessarily bad, but it felt like there was just too little pressure on the other bases of the Terran player for a little bit. It also feels like that once the Liberators are sieged up, like it doesn't matter if your entire army is there or if you just have like 10 Disruptors there, you know? You're not pushing in and they are going to be pushing forward. And Disruptors can delay that a little bit. Even if it's just like 10 Stalkers and like 7, 8 Disruptors, that is harder for the Terran to push into than just having nothing there. But it's pretty much the same as if your entire army is there, because they're still going to have to be careful with everything, right? Because there's Disruptors, there's Stalkers, so they can snipe Libs, and they can kill your units. So they can put some pressure onto the third. Maybe you can get in some DTs as well, and eventually maybe from like a 2-3 side engagement, you can actually take your opponent out. But yeah, that's not really what happened. Like, Liberators are really freaking good, and once they get in position, you don't have any Tempest out, you don't have high DT counts, life generally is going to suck. But I feel like Firefly had the tools. He had like legit 10 bases on the map or something, and he could have been ping-ponging workers between them as well. There was a lot of stuff that he did wrong there. A lot of stuff. And I think Gumiho correctly identified the only viable play that he had. And that was to try and go for an attack with a very high amount of Liberators. And that's what he went for. And it just worked out. So, you know, props to him. But yeah, this only worked due to Firefly's incompetence really in dealing with that situation. And it sucked because he played a very good game before that. His early game wasn't even that great, don't forget. I really thought Gumiho had it in the bag. He killed like 16 workers in the first 6 minutes or so. Like, that should be a game over. So Firefly showcased that, you know, amazing flexibility there. The durability, like the ability to bounce back from that was quite frankly impressive. I loved it, but yeah. You know what it is? If you end up dying in the end to something else, and it doesn't matter how durable, flexible, strong you are, freaking died, man. Sucks to suck. Okay, it's going to be Cloak Banshee here. This is a classic Korean Terran move. I don't know why Cloak Banshees are so popular in Korea and so unpopular in Europe. I think it's because European Terrans are wrong. I really think Banshees are insanely good. Like, whenever I see freaking Maru play with them, I'm like, whoa. Not sure why the other boys don't. Double batteries is actually good against Banshees, by the way. Very often the way that these Banshee builds work, fat tip for you guys at home, is that they send one Banshee across the map to kind of harass you, and that forces all of your Stalkers to stay home, which gives their tank push basically a free pass to go across the map and siege up, and then the second Banshee will be with that push as well. So it's really difficult for Terrans. I'm going to keep just kind of hammering this point down. It's really difficult for Terran to move across the map against Blink, especially if you don't have Stim. So with like slow Marines, or whatever you call them, like unupgraded Marines, if there's 4 Stalkers here, this is a difficult move out to make. You can't send your Reaper Hellion forward, you might take damage on a tank, you might end up losing 3-4 Marines as well. Like, it freaking sucks to move out. And that's what the Banshee really is for. It kind of forces the Protoss player to stay at home with a decent amount of Stalkers. So, yeah, Gumiho here is going to get the, pretty much the hall pass. And now, see, the moment this gets realized, look at what he does. He instantly starts moving out. This is the correct call. But it's fairly late. The earlier you find the Terran army, the more blinks you have in you, you know? The more times you can kind of kite back. Even now, gonna get a Marine. Gonna maybe even get a second Marine. Gonna kill that Banshee if Gumiho ain't careful. Maybe could clear something here. Ooh, that's a snipe there on the Observer, or it's not. It's not. Not a snipe on the Observer. Absolutely phenomenal control here. Out of Firefly, to be quite honest. He dealt with this very well. Neat split here coming out of him too. Immortal is about to pop out. That Observer did end up dying in the end. I'm not sure if Gumiho is aware of it. I think he is, because he's right now chasing these Stalkers, like a 20 HP unit. You can't really walk up this ramp anymore. I think Firefly has done it. He's defended. He needs a third base ASAP right now. He needs to be looking into the future already. You know, Gumiho is still living in the past, but the future, that's really where it's at. It's gonna lose an Immortal, a couple of Stalkers, but this push has ended. It's over. It's gone. And Firefly should have realized 20 seconds ago. So this Nexus is going to be 20 seconds delayed. Look at this. Barracks just now going down. Stim here is going to start 6 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Stim takes 100 seconds to finish up. That means that the first viable push-out timing is going to be at around 8 minutes. Hell yeah. It's going to be a very long time for Firefly to make some good calls. Get a Colossus out. Set up a bunch of workers over here at that third base. Maybe kill this Banshee. Ideally, you get to kill this Banshee. If you don't get to kill this Banshee, life probably is not going to be that great. Because that Banshee is going to annoy you until the end of time. Beautiful stuff here. Firefly with... Actually, I don't know if this wasn't a perfect defense, right? He lost a couple of too many units. He lost too many of his observers as well. His stalkers weren't far enough across the map early on. But overall, like, the concepts were utilized well. Like, he obviously knows the concepts. The execution was good enough. And despite worker count being very close and that often being a sign that life is good for Terran, I think that... Actually, Firefly is probably in an okay position here. I don't mind his position at all. Unless he... What the hell is this? I don't know what that was, but I did not like that. I'm not loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. No way. He's actually going to jump in. He is actually going to jump in. Okay, that is 4 Stalkers, which means he can one-shot SCVs and one-shot Marines. Gonna piss off right now. Charge is about to finish up as well. We don't have a forge. Ooh, Blinks in forge. Gonna clear this one tank. Oh, this is kind of an awkward move, isn't it? But awkward for who? One stalker for a tank. That's a trade I take any day of the week. Gonna see a Zealot Warp in here soon. Forge now coming in. Dude, I'm freaking loving this. Okay. I honestly would have blinked on top of that tank and I would have lost my entire Stalker army. I love that he didn't. He's gonna go for it anyway now, isn't he? Yep. Oh! Almost got it. SCV's now being cool to try and repair these tanks. This is just beautiful. Just picking up reinforcements. Zealot Warping comes into the main base. He's gonna go for a bigger Zealot Warping in as Charge finishes up. That means that this push all of a sudden is not just a little bit all in, but extremely all in. As there's 2 low HP tanks and the rest of it is Marines without combat. I think that Firefly is going to be just fine. He can right-click a lot of these Marines. These Marines are going to be in some serious trouble. 12 workers have gone down on the other side of the map. And here comes the flank with the Guardian Shield. Uh-oh, these tanks, they're shooting the wrong thing here. So they were shooting at a robotics facility, and these were units hitting them from the back. Colossus is going to swipe all these Marines to death, and that should actually be it here in game number 2. Firefly, with really some great maneuvering, is going to be winning the second map and forcing out the ace. Final game is going to be played on Amygdala, as we have a single gas opener coming out of Gumiho. Not too happy with the outcome of that last game, so it's going back to what he knows best. It's going to be single gas into a fast command center here. Marine first. This has been a trend as well. Like these Marine first builds. No scouts. I find it kind of dirty, to be honest. The fact that Terrans, they legitimately don't care at all what their Protoss counterparts are doing, I find that a bad development. Oh, never mind. He's going Marine into Reaper. That is a good development. I like this build a lot. This is this build first saw a lot of play out of by a Polish Terran player called Spirit. Back then he probably still was called Soul. But Marine into Reaper. So what this does is the moment there's no first unit coming out, the Protoss brain goes, no unit, I can send my first adept across the map for free. And then boom, just as you're sending out your first adept across the map for free, Reaper jumps in, starts killing your probes, gets a fat scout off as well on this Twilight Council. So it's very frustrating to deal with. I've played against it quite a lot. I often struggle with it too. Gumiho went the wrong way around though. It's actually just going to be spotted here by the adept. Ooh, they just passed one another. I don't think Firefly was paying attention to that. No, he wasn't. This is a fairly late response. Gumiho's control here hasn't been great though on this Reaper. I feel like he probably could have dealt a little bit more damage. Now it's going to start shooting the gateway, which is also a very odd call. Could get a snipe here maybe on one of them. Oh, gets surrounded! That is a great rally point there by Firefly. Well done. So for the people that are not aware, the Stalker will pop out where the rally point is pointed towards. So if you're pointing it towards the right, it's going to pop right here. And he rally pointed it in such a way that the Reaper was locked in, you know, between the Stalker and the probes. Phenomenal play. Really well done. Absolutely lovely. Big up to you, my dear friend. Yeah, Firefly's early game seems to be very on point. And honestly, his mid-game also seemed to be very on point. It was just in the Liberator stage where he seemed to struggle a little bit. Comes the Adept into the cancel. 2 barracks. Can you get that? What's that? Double mine drop? Into double tech lab then, right? There's no tech lab here on this. Why? Why is there no tech lab here? I don't know if this is a mistake or what this is. It's gonna swap, that makes no sense either. It's just faster to build a tech lab. Tank stars, now he gets a tech lab. I think he wanted to build the Raven. I was like, wait, I have no tech lab. This is a pretty silly mistake to make. Because the timing of that Raven is actually pretty important. Let's see, do we get a retarget here? Of course we do. Ooh, 2 worker kills as well. That freaking sucks. Ooh! Firefly! Oh, did not blink that Stalker away for whatever reason. This guy's still alive! This guy's still alive! Oh, that's a fat hit. That is 5 worker kills there. Oi, 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 oi. His defense was really good until he lost 5 extra workers for absolutely no reason. He probably thought that it had burrowed. I honestly thought it had burrowed and shot as well, but not the case. And yeah, it wasn't great there. It was not great whatsoever. We're going to get a couple of Stalkers now to warp in here. It's going to be 3-gate blink off of just 2 gases. Raven is going to pop out just now. Okay, is he gonna go for that tank? He is gonna go for that tank, huh? Gonna get it as well. There you go. Gets the 1 tank. Second tank is about to finish up here as well. Nice control here. Firefly is not building any workers behind this. Now starts a couple. Do we get 3 more Stalkers? Hell yeah, we get 3 more Stalkers. It's gonna bring the total here up to 11. Means he can now 1 volley tanks if he wants to. Could probably clear the stim if he wanted. Is that in range? Yeah, it's still in range of the tank. Stim goes down though. Good start here. Very well done. Still 7 stocks, so didn't lose any either. Low ground is fairly vulnerable. This SCV could get taken out. There you go. Does get taken out. 4 stalkers in the main bay at the same time. Does need to pick it up. Yeah, tank there is going to be really annoying to deal with. He wants to drop on top of it, but as a result now is going to maybe lose his prism. Hello? Firefly just stopped controlling his prism there. As at the same time he was blinking into his opponent's natural, but losing a prism and 3 stalkers is actually a really bad play. That's not something that I would recommend, to be quite honest. These bad boys are going to be capable of blinking out. That's... This has not been good. 2400 resources lost against 1350. And the beauty of playing 3 or 4 gate blink is that usually you can get very good trades. Like worthwhile trades on your stalkers. And this has been the opposite of a trade that is worthy. Robo Bay here, 80% done. So once again going into that Colossus setup. Depot's gonna get punched. Loses an SCV to try and save that depot. Not sure how worthy that is. Worthwhile. 5 more gates. 4 should be coming up soon, and a thermal lens as well. Really bad start though for our good friend. 9 workers lost on his own side of things fairly early on. 9 stalkers lost and a prism lost. The problem is that you have to rebuild that prism, so that costs you quite a bit of robo time that could be invested into maybe other things like another Colossus or an Immortal here or there. And against higher tank counts, having an Immortal actually ain't that bad. Prism is going to set up shop here on the bottom side of the map as the fort base is going to go down inevitably for Firefly. He's already sending a probe over there, building a pylon. All that good jazz. It's 2 little stalkers to do this with. 2 little stalkers. Turret here is in a very neat position as well. Gonna have to pick up. Do we have any Vikings out? No. Once again going for that fast second eBay. Plus armory, by the way, which is a pretty funny setup in my opinion. A very funny setup indeed. Okay, tank's actually taking a bit of a beating here too. Fort base in some trouble. More Colossus are coming out. It's gonna be the second one. I really wonder if... I think right now, Gumiho actually could have pushed out. If he would have gone with like 3 tanks, I think he would have been capable of winning a game. Because there really wasn't anything, at least clearing this fort base. I think that's almost a guarantee. Actually, I think that is just a guarantee, period. We still have the Prism. No, Prism has died somewhere. I didn't quite see that. Didn't quite catch it. Zealot run by setup on the left. Stalkers on the right. This hallucination is going to see the tank move out. It's heading towards the right. I mean, that does mean that these Zealots are just going to be sent in, no? I wonder where he's... Oh, he's going to go for... Oh, this was bait, maybe. He's waiting for Firefly to send in those Zealots. The main army is now moving out as well. Is Firefly planning on moving in here? Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, these Zealots are in some trouble. That's going to be big fat losses over here for him. As well, like -7 Zealots. 14 supply down the drain, just like that. At the same time, you have the auto turret harassment coming in. So that's 5 worker kills already. Make that 6 worker kills. He's gonna try it here as well, but there is a battery there. Yeah, this is not worth it. Absolutely not. Prism comes out. Zealots now start smashing the bunker. This is a bad couple of seconds for Firefly. He already was in a bad spot. It's a miracle that he's allowed on the map. It's a miracle that Gumiho hasn't decided to go across the map yet, because honestly, the moment he does, I'm still not quite seeing it here. Like, what really is the plan for Firefly? Sit back, relax, and take a beating? It's not possible. You're going to need to do some type of counterattack. Maybe over here. Prism's going to go down again. That is the 3rd Prism that is going to be falling here in this game. And that is very frustrating. Barracks 6, 7, and 8 coming in right now as Gumiho is going to pivot towards the left side of the map. And that's going to come as a massive surprise here for Firefly, who is not ready for this one bit. He's trying to move in forward. And there's nothing here. I think you just walk straight through the middle towards the fort. Firefly is going to engage into some base trading here. I'm not sure if he knows he's base trading, though. I don't think he's aware of the fact that he's base trading at all. It's one of those things you don't accidentally want to fall into. It's like if you didn't know that you signed up for like a show like Wipeout or something, and all of a sudden you wake up and you have to run over this obstacle course. It's like, what the hell? Have you never had a coffee yet? It's kind of what Firefly is feeling like. He's going to get a clear here on this orbital, but he's already lost 2 of his own Nexi. Does not have a serious unit count at home either. 4 mines are set up to snipe every single disruptor that comes out of here. Natural might get breached. Are there enough units in the main base? The answer is, not really. Just gonna blink straight over. I mean, for how bad this game was for Firefly, he's actually doing an okay job here. The speed of his base trade is fine. I don't think you actually want to be taking this gold base. Maybe take a base over here would make a little bit more sense to me. It's going to be taking out every single building. Has a lot of workers still on the map. Where are the workers for Gumiho? We have a bunch over here. Where's the rest of them? Okay, everything's over here. So theoretically, you keep all these workers alive. Like, that's cool, no? Like it is, right? I think that's cool. Okay, Zealots are going to intercept this army. This is such a weird move. Why would he just run back with his Zealots all of a sudden? I freaking love it, though. Very cool. It's going to clear this. I really think these probes should be probably somewhere else. If he clears these SCVs, it's still going to be 3cc, though. That's the problem, right? Still going to be 3cc. And this is an army that has 2 on upgrades, so... Oh, wow, he's just going to GG out. Just going to tap out just like that. Does not believe in it anymore. And that is going to be it for this series today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you all did enjoy this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll hope to see all of you next time for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.